Hey, church family. Hey, we're about to turn our attention to the Christmas season. Of course, the weather's gotten a little bit colder now, as you know, and Christmas is going to be here really before we know it. But before we do that, I have just spent some time reflecting on our fall together. And you know, this past fall we studied the book of 1 Timothy, and we looked at Paul's instructions to Timothy, the leader of the church in Ephesus there, about what a healthy household of God looks like, what a healthy church looks like. And we told you at the beginning that we were going to have, by the end of our study, a whole bunch of statements, 16 of them in fact, of statements describing that healthy household of God. And I've been just reflecting on those 16 statements and have come up with just some things that really the Lord's just bringing to my mind, standing out to me of what, this summary of everything that Paul has said. And I want to share those with you today. Here's the first one. Here's the first thing that stands out to me when I think about Paul's instructions to Timothy about what a healthy household of God looks like. It's this that God cares about his church and has ordered the church's structure to promote the church's health. So this is God's church. We've said that many times. This is his. And he cares about it much more deeply than even you or I do. I mean, this is why he sent his son Jesus to die and be raised again for us, right, for his church. He cares about it, and he wants what's best for us. And he knows that what is best is only going to be found within the way he has ordered and established his church. And so really our responsibility is then to know that, to be aware. How has God arranged the structure that he has then now made us stewards of, that we would take care of it well? Okay, so we've got to know that he's ordered it, and we've got to come along under that, submit to that, if we're going to find ultimate health. Okay, second thing. Health, a healthy household, health involves the balance of right doctrine and right behavior. If you've been with us, you've heard us say this over and over and over again about how the book of 1 Timothy brings those ideas together of what we believe and how we live. And all of us want to live righteous, godly lives. We want our lives to honor the Lord. And how are we going to do that unless we know how God has designed life to be, what the scriptures teach? And so we've got, if we want to live righteous lives, we've got to know how God is defining righteousness, how he's defining living rightly. And so we've got to be able to know his word, to sit deeply with it, to let it sink into our hearts, all those things of just richly dwelling within us, that we might know what he says, know what the Bible teaches, so that we can ultimately honor him. And how much more so in today's society that's looking for a foundation of what in the world's going on. How much more important for us today to know the word, that it might direct our lives so that we can live righteously before the Lord. So that's the second one. Number 3, health, the health of a church, is safeguarded by godly leadership. We hope that as we've walked through 1 Timothy that you've seen that godly leadership and the desire to be a part of serving the church through leading the church is a very honorable thing. And for a church to be healthy, it's got to have the right kind of leaders in place. Men and then women in their context, but men that are equipped and called for that and can respond to that have the right kind of character. Right, they can stand for the church, they can answer for the church, teach the church, lead the church, serve the church. Health is only going to be found if we've got the right kind of leadership. And as the scriptures, especially 1 Timothy, define leadership and the type of leader, remember, they're looking primarily at character. And that vision of character for us would be the default setting for all of us, that it would be the expectation, the desire that we would read those lists and say, this is who I want to be. This is who I want my kids to be. This is who I want my kids to want to marry one day. This type of individual, and that would be our desire across the board, and that the Lord would have a church full, a local church full of individuals with the right kind of character and giftings and skills ultimately that he could raise up to be a part of providing godly leadership for a church. So health is safeguarded by godly leadership. Number 4, health is encouraged by honorable relationships. And so Paul in the book of 1 Timothy outlined relationships of older, younger men and women, widows with elders, with slaves and their masters. right? That there's a way of relating with each other that is healthy, that's honoring of God. Number 5, the threats to a church are real and powerful. So Paul spends a lot of his time engaging what we've called the opponents, engaging those that have come in after Paul, and they're trying to lead the church astray, many times through false doctrine, through false ways of living and the way that they would work that out. And those are real threats for Timothy and something that he's going to have to engage and lead through. And for you and I today, it's the same, that there are threats to us finding a healthy household of God, and they're real and they're powerful. They're powerful because the enemy behind them is powerful. Not more powerful than the Lord, but they are powerful and they're real, and we have to be engaging of that and watchful and mindful of that. Number 6, the outcome, last one here, the outcome of church health is love and praise. So right at the very beginning, we saw that the aim of our charge is love, right? What Paul wants to produce within this church is love. And we circle back around to the idea again at the end of chapter 6, right? That we would be loving, that love would be expressed out of us because of the health. But I'm also struck at how when Paul reflects on the work of God, he often thinks about praise. And 3 times he sings those hymns in the book of 1 Timothy, praising God for what he's done. So the outcome of all of this health is ultimately love for the Lord, love for each other, and praise for God and what he's done. So here's my encouragement to us. I hope that you would look back over these 16 statements. In fact, we've put them all together. John's put them all together for us in a one-page deal that you can look at them. And I'd just encourage you to read through that list and evaluate and see, okay, as a household of God, how are we doing? How are we in health? How are we finding health in that one area? Some of those I'm sure we're doing real well. Some of them I'm sure we can go, we really could work on that. But my encouragement for you is as you look through those things and think about the health of our household of God, that you'd start first with yourself. And you might just pray something like this: God, would you just speak to my own heart and show me where I need to grow, where I need to mature in my own walk with you? Because here's the deal. A healthy household of God is only going to be as healthy as the individuals that fill it. So my encouragement is that you go to the Lord. Lord, would you be working in my heart as an individual? Help me to be healthy, maturing, growing in my walk with you. And then ultimately you would use me, God, to be a part of providing health to this entire household. It's been just a great fall. I really loved the study of 1 Timothy. I hope that you've benefited from it as well. Just thinking about this little church here and wanting to be healthy. And that's our continued prayer. So we're looking forward to what's coming up. We're thankful for what the Lord's done. We hope that you'll be able to join us this Christmas season in worshiping with us in person or online as we get to now celebrate and really transition to a time of celebrating the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. We love you, church family, and we hope we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.